Hey, what's up guys? We are here for my NPL Week 4 matchup versus Ben, the coach of the LA Gogoats. He is a divisional opponent, so that means this is an important game because the fact that we already lost one division game and it's our only loss ever in the league format, so definitely want to get back on the winning track of things. So looking at his team, I'll go over his team real quick. He has Mega Metacham, Sylveon, Goodra, Cobalion, not Donphan. He recently picked it up but can't use it for this match because it takes a week to go through. So he actually dropped Cobalion for Donphan, but he has Cobalion, not Donphan, for my particular match this week. Keep going with the Blissey, Lando T, Umbreon, Golurk, Shuckle, Rhydon, and Dusknoir. So two main things looking at his roster is he has no hazard removal, which is fantastic. That's why he just traded for Donphan, because he realized that is a big weakness to his team. And another thing is he has no flying resist other than Rhydon. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm pretty sure it's just Rhydon. Yep, it's only Rhydon. So that pretty much allows me to think that he's going to bring the Rhydon 110%, because you should bring at least one flying resist versus the Mega-Pinsir. So yeah, and probably the Lando T to try to counter it as well. So the Mega Metacham is the biggest offensive threat on his team by far, but you could argue that Sylveon is a very good threat to my team as well with the Choice Specs Pixelate boosted Hyper Voices. My team does not appreciate those at all. My main answer to it is Steelix, and that is not the greatest answer that I want to have, at least taking on a Choice Specs Sylveon. Also, another big thing is offensive Lando T could be a bit of a problem if he gets some setup with him. But looking at that, nothing on his team necessarily threatens me too much. Maybe SD Cobalion is a bit of a threat, but I'm not too scared about it. Everything else on his team is kind of just filler. I don't think Goodra it would make much of an impact, even though it could be a decent, especially defensive wall like a Sulfast Goodra or something. Gets no setup moves, so I'm not too scared about it. I have plenty of things on this team to deal with a Dragon type, particularly Mamoswine, and yeah, I think I'm very good right now. So like team matchup wise, I think I match up better versus him than he matches up better versus me. And looking at his team, like I said, he has no hazard removal, so we are going to just go ahead and run the Cofagrigus again. Looking at it, this is a pretty similar set. Hex, Toxic Spike, Magic Coat, and Will-O-Wisp. My particular set is to eat one High Jump Kick from Adamant Metacham kind of comfortably. I think it does around 70% to me, maybe, with the High Jump Kick. So I can live it after rocks, maybe after 2 rocks, and proceed to go for the Hex or the Will-O-Wisp or whatever I want to go for. And pretty much my what do you call it? My strategy with this Cofagrigus is set up T-Spikes as soon as possible, because of the fact that he has no hazard removal. So I want to get those up. I want to get my hazards up with the rocks on Steelix as well. And I just want to status everything. Like there's nothing really stopping me from statusing things unless he brings Heal Bell, which I think he should, but I don't know if he will. So yeah, Hex is really nice because things will get status. It actually boosts my attack up to 130, which is much more powerful than Shadow Ball. And I'll take a minus 15 power if it's not status. So main goal for this Cofagrigus is set up hazards and stop. It also stops Shuckle from setting up hazards. I brought the Magic Coat, so if he wants to bring webs, I can literally just spam Magic Coat until I die if I have to make that play. Because the fact that he should bring something like Infestation to like be his only attacking move, or maybe Toxic. So yeah, I can just Magic Coat almost everything back at him, and it beats it one-on-one, which is fantastic, because I can just get up all the hazards I want and then Magic Coat, and I could potentially put even more hazards, so I could potentially put Sticky Web on his team, which would be great. So Cofagrigus, just you gotta bring it if there's a Mega Metacham on the team, because he can only hit me well, he can't even hit me with the High Jump Kick. I don't know what I was saying. I am a Ghost type, obviously. He can hit me with the Zen Headbutt. I think that's what my particular set was. He can only hit me twice yeah, I think I lived 2 Zen Headbutts from this range, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so scratch what I said earlier about the High Jump Kicks, because he actually can't even hit them. So yeah, that is the reason why we're bringing Cofagrigus as well, because it's just a nice check to the Metacham. yeah, and this is probably the best set. The specially defensive side, that's what I was thinking with the 70 to 80%. That's what a spec Sylveon is doing to this particular set, so I can switch in twice on rocks, and or like, yeah, like switch it in, and if I'm at like 60-70%, I can still probably eat one Hyper Voice, which is pretty nice. So that's the particular Cofagrigus set. Now the next set we're bringing is Mega-Pinsir. We're running Adamant this time because we need we don't necessarily need the extra power, but we want the extra power. Hyper Cutter because the fact that he has a Landorus Therian, I don't want my attack getting dropped by switch-ins, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, Double Edge for more power because it has a chance to OHKO, I believe. What was it? Maybe the Goodra? I don't know, maybe it's the Sylveon. One of the two. But Adamant Quick Attack pretty much OHKOs. It has a decent chance to OHKO Mega Medicham, so I don't need to run Jolly for any reason because there's nothing I need to outspeed. Adamant outspeeds Landorus Therian at max investment. I'm pretty sure I outspeed everything else. Yeah, there's nothing on his team. I don't need to outspeed the Cobalion because I'm not too worried about it. Quick Attack will still do a decent amount. And Close Combat is for those Umbreons, for those Rhydons, Blissey even, and Cobalion too if I want to hit it. Yeah, that's about it. SD is nice if I can try to catch him on a switch. Potentially if he's Scarf Lando, I can do it if he's locked into Earthquake. I can do it if he is Umbreon, because, well, not Umbreon because it could have Foul Play, but yeah. On a couple things I have a potential to set up on, like say he doesn't want to sack something, and boom, I get to get a free Swords Dance up, and Quick Attack will be doing a lot of damage. So that's my thinking with Mega-Pinsir. And the next Pokemon we're bringing is Steelix, or Tectonics, that's the nickname. And it's actually Steelix's debut. I have never brought Steelix in the league this year, so it's going to make its debut. We are running Chapel Berry because I can eat a high jump kick from Medicham and almost knock it out with the Heavy Slam or Earthquake. Heavy Slam actually does more, so it does about 80%, I want to say, to a Medicham, and it does about 80% to a Sylveon as well. So actually it might do more to Sylveon, I'm not too sure. But my particular spread is more of a specially defensive set because of the Sylveon. I need to be able to take those Hyper Voices. If he specs, I can eat 2 for sure after rocks, and if he is not specs, I can eat like 3 or 4. So just depending on his investment. So that's pretty cool. Taunt is for the Shuckle as well. I outspeed the Shuckle because Shuckle has 5 base speed, and I'm pretty sure Steelix has like 30. So that's pretty cool for me. Rocks because I don't need anything else, and why not? I'm actually not running Hazard Removal this week, so I have to kind of rely on Magic Bounces or trying to taunt the Shuckle. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, and then just Dual Stab because it hits his team very nicely. Next we are using a excuse me, the physical Meloetta set, which you will see later on in the game. Because of the fact that he has so many bulky threats, I want to have a ton of wall breakers on this team. I'm running Adamant full investment Meloetta because of the fact that with Black Belt as well, so it boosts those close combat hits, so that's kind of cool. Frustration, it's another nice stab. Ice Punch for Lando T and his 2 ghost types on his team because I can't touch them otherwise. So Relic Song up has a 20% chance to actually put him to sleep, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, then the speed investment is to outspeed the Cobalion after a Relic Song transformation. So first time we were bringing physical Meloetta, and we'll see how it goes. So next Pokemon is Latios because we did not bring Latios last game and we lost. So maybe I should start bringing Latios almost every game because this thing actually just tears through teams all the time, actually. This set we are running Draco, Psyshock, Surf, and Trick. The reason we are running Scarf is because because obviously his team isn't very fast, so I'm not running it for the speed, but I kind of am at the same time because I can outspeed a Scarflando T with this thing, which is kind of nice. Knock it out with the Draco or a Surf if I need a Scarf, and a ton of his team, almost half his team, does not appreciate holding a Choice Scarf. I will go down the list one more time and tell you which Mons don't appreciate Choice Scarf. Sylveon doesn't really, but I guess it could if it's a spec set, so maybe it could benefit from that. But generally, Sylveon does not appreciate a Scarf. Goodra does not appreciate a Scarf. Cobalion, not really. Blissey, definitely not. Lando T, it could benefit from it, or it doesn't really matter. You can see Scarf Lando tease all the time. Umbreon hates Choice Scarf. Golurk, why would you ever run Scarf? Shuckle, never. Rhydon, you would never run Choice Scarf Rhydon. And then Dusknoir, you would never run that either. So many Mons on his team did not appreciate a Choice Scarf, and I definitely want to get off a Choice Scarf on one of them, predicting a switch. Especially something like the Umbreon or the Sylveon, thinking they can switch in for free on the Draco Meteors. If it's Spidef Umbreon, that's the case. And Surf is just nice coverage for things like the Lando T, the Rhydon, it's quad weak to water, and the Golurk even hits Chuckle super effectively. So it'd be nice hitting those things kind of hard without having to take the Draco Meteor minus special attack. And Psyshock is also good damage for Sylveon because it's more specially bulky. Good damage for the Blissey as well, and the I believe that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. So pretty much mainly the Sylveon and the Blissey. And the last Pokemon we have is also my investment is to outspeed a Cobalion. Yeah, max speed Cobalion. So without the Choice Scarf. And the last Pokemon we're bringing is Mamoswine or Permafrost, and we are running Life Orb Adamant full investment. 44 HP, 4 defense, 4 special defense, just to not waste any EVs, and then 204 speed. And I don't really have anything on the speed investment, but I'm assuming that it's going to be more speed than the Goodra. I don't think he would ever run a lot of speed on the Goodra. So just in case, I'm running 204 speed, so in case he's running 200, I'm running 204. And yeah, I didn't want max investment because I wanted a little bit of both. Like I wanted to have at least something to be able to take a hit better. And yeah, obviously the Adamant full investment Life Orb is to hit as hard as possible. Earthquake is just great coverage with my Ice coverage, Iso Crash and Ice Shard that is. And Knockoff is also just great versus his team. If you look at it, yeah, nothing really wants to take a Knockoff other than the Cobalion because it has Justified and it resists it. Because look what else he has. He's got Dusknoir, he's got Golurk, Umbreon hates its item getting knocked off. Sylveon does not like its item getting knocked off, and neither does Goodra. So, decent, like, what do you call it, like, mid-ground play to make is going for the knockoff because I already have Rocks on Steelix. So, that is a team we are bringing for Week 4 of the NPL versus Ben, coach of the LA Gogoats. So, we'll hop right into the battle now. And if you look at his team, he brings the Rhydon, the Cobalion, the Goodra, the Umbreon, the Sylveon, and the Landorus Therian. So, immediately, I see no Mega Medicham, and I get happy and I get worried at the same time. This is the same exact case with our last week matchup. We over anticipated the Mega Lopunny coming, and it really hurt us, honestly, because the fact that we over prepped for it. So I wouldn't say we over prepped for the Medicham this week, but we definitely prepped for it. So not seeing that is a bit concerning, and not seeing I guess Blissey, because the fact that Blissey could potentially beat my Latios or any of the other thing. But I guess it's good because I only have like one real special attacker. You could kind of count the Cofagrigus, but I wouldn't. And then, yeah, so I think the Mega Medicham not coming was the biggest potential scare on my team. Everything else is just whatever. I knew he was going to bring Rhydon because of Mega-Pinsir, and everything else is just kind of, I knew he'd bring it. So, honestly, looking at his team, he has, 3 potential Stealth Rockers, so I knew the Landorus Therian would not be carrying Stealth Rock. I would assume that it is the Rhydon, but it could be Cobalion as well, so I'm predicting the Lando to actually be Scarf, and I'm predicting maybe Spec Sylveon, Bulky Umbreon, probably Assault Vest Goodra, and Eviolite, Eviolite Rhydon, and I'm not really too sure about the Cobalion. It could be lefties, like defensive, it could be Rocky Helmet defensive, it could be even sub SD, so I'm not too sure. So, like I said, I'm going to stick to the plan, lead with my Cofagrigus, and go from there. Try to get up hazards as soon as possible. So he leads the Sylveon like I expected. He actually goes for the Magic Coat, which is hilarious because that was our strategy versus him. So he gets to bounce back the Teak Spikes. But I'm going to go hard into my Steelix now because I don't want him setting up a Calmon as I actually predicted that. So forcing him to switch out, I'm going straight for the Heavy Slam because of the fact that I don't want him to have HP Fire and do a lot of damage. So I have the Chopple Berry. I'm going to stay in here. Doesn't do too much. Gets me a little bit on his set as well. Go for the EQ just because I want damage over Stealth Rock right now. And I'm going to switch out because I don't want this thing taking any more damage because Sylveon is still a thing. Go hard into my Cofagrigus here, and I'm going to start setting up some Toxic Spikes. He goes for the U-turn, gets a crit, doesn't really matter. Just maybe it's hard to gauge the damage off a crit, so goes into this Umbreon here, and I'm just going for the Will-O-Wisp on the potential Landorus because it'd be really nice getting that thing burned, honestly. So looking at the U-turn, I thought he was Scarf at this point. Goes for the Foul Play, just 9% on its super effectiveness. So yeah, just gonna set up a T-Spike here. There's nothing really stopping me. Umbreon is such a passive Pokemon, and I just don't like it in general. But yeah, he's just going to go for the Moonlight, which is awesome because he's not a Wish passing set, which is great for my team. Get up my second layer of Spikes, which means everything will be Toxic except the Cobalion and the Landorus Therian, so that's awesome for me. Go into my Steelix because I want to get up that last layer of Hazards because he's just letting me set up all my Hazards at this point, which is great. No hazard removal like I stated before, and he just goes into the Landorus, which is totally fine by me. Not trying to stay in and take an Earthquake though. I could have made the Latios play, but there's no point for me risking that because he could potentially go for knockoff or U-turn. So Yami, the Cofagrigus, is the choice sack here because it did its job. It got up its 2 layers of Toxic Spikes, and I don't necessarily need it because he didn't bring the Mega Medicham. So going to this thing, I think I just go for the Trick, predicting the Sylveon coming in here. Yeah, I go for the Trick. He ends up being Pixie Plate, and that's still good for me. I should give him a Choice Scarf, so that's awesome. He can't just keep spamming Magic Coat or Calm Mind, so I know he's just going to go for the Hyper Voice here, and I pretty much can eat 2 of those. So I know he's going to go into Landorus. There's no point for me to make a double and take unnecessary damage on anything else, so I just go straight for the Heavy Slam because it's still going to do a decent amount, and I get to gauge the damage. So I do a decent chunk to the Lando. He goes for the Superpower, knocks me out, gets a crit. I'm not too sure if that mattered. I don't know what his investment was. I don't think it did. And now this is this is a pretty big play here. Looking at this set, I was thinking U-turn Superpower, and he was outspeeding Bulbamons, obviously because they're base 30 speed. But I really was banking on him being Scarf here, at least some sort of choice item, because that's what I would predict his Lando to be, seeing no leftovers. So honestly, I go into my Mega-Pinsir here, and this was my mindset. I really wanted to set up an SD because I wanted to punish something on the predicted switch. So if he wanted to switch out into his Rhydon immediately here, because I believe that would be the switch in here, I was almost positive a close combat after rocks and toxic damage would be able to knock this thing out because I'm max investment adamant Mega-Pinsir. And then even if he did stay in and go for the Superpower, it gives me a free SD. So that was my prediction. He ends up not being Choice Scarf, and he ends up being, I don't even know what he was, but he goes for the Stone Edge and knocks us out after -1. Doesn't really matter because Pinsir is quad weak to rock. So we lose our Mega-Pinsir for no actual reason, so it's a big misplay. Go into Lottie, and I'm able to surf this Lando TOA, goes into the Sylveon, and I honestly have to switch here. I have to keep Lottie, it's so important. So Meloetta really isn't doing too much to his team at this point. So honestly, I'm just going to stay in normal form because I can't click Relics on, I can't put him to sleep. Frustration will do much more damage, and it actually does 47%, so the next toxic damage will knock him out. So Cofagrigus picks up a kill, and the Sylveon picks up a kill as well. So going to the Mamoswine here, predicting something else, but he actually goes into the Rhydon. I have to make the Latios play here because of the fact that I don't think he would go for anything else. So he does indeed just go for the Earthquake here, and this was almost another big misplay. Like I say, almost, you will see what I'm talking about right now. Actually, I don't know if it's this one or not. Hang on, let me just play it. Yeah, I go for the Side Shock, predicting the Goodra coming in. I thought it was coming in 110%. I did not think, because I already showed the Surf, that was my mindset. I thought he would just go into Goodra trying to get a free switch into it, or just trying to, I don't know. I thought he'd go to Goodra. So he actually stays in and goes for the Mega Horn here, and it does 98%. So Latios barely hangs on. A little bit of HP investment might have made the difference there, and I'm able to crit the Surf. Did not matter, it would have died anyway. So at least I get rid of the Rhydon, goes into this thing, and now I have to make a play. So I'm in the back. All he has to do right now is click, what's it called? Click foul play here, and he pretty much, I don't know, actually if he would have clicked foul play here, it would have been a closer game, but I think the end result didn't change even if he did click foul play here. So my play here is to click trick because I know he's leftovers and I know he's going to assume I'm going to click Draco Meteor and he's just going to try to moonlight off the damage. So go for the trick, give him the pixie plate, and I get the leftover. So double trick this game as he does go for the moonlight like expected, and I'm at 8% now. So now I'm going to go for the Draco Meteor, do a decent chunk. 51% is not bad at all as he goes for the toxic. Now this is great because I actually can live one more toxic turn, so that's great for me. He just goes for the protect. Yeah, so I go for the Draco again. I actually can live, I could have lived 2. So now I can only live one more toxic turn, and Draco kills him after this. So Latios picks up another kill, beats out Umbreon 1-on-1, which is fantastic. So now it's all up to the Mamoswine, and Cobalion is already really weak because Steelix did a huge chunk to it, so it's at 10%. I'm max attack adamant. Ice Shard is picking this thing off. Even if he was max investment, I still had a chance to kill. And then he goes into the Goodra here, which is his last mon, and I am more than likely faster than it due to that speed investment, and all I have to do is hit Ice Shard and win the game. So we win 1-0 versus a team that I did not think he would bring. I definitely thought the Mega Metachan was coming. So once again, we need to really prepare for everything because I'm not liking these close games. I need to get my differential up. I believe it is like +6, I think it's +6, my differential. So it's not bad at all, but it would be very nice to not get these games so close and be a little bit more comfortable. So good game to Ben and his LA Gogoats. Really put me on the back foot at parts of the match, and I had to really make a lot of plays to get back in it. So yeah, good luck to him in the rest of the season. He's a pretty good battler, honestly, even though he has a very strange team, honestly. No hazard removal, something to look at, but he did trade for the Donphan, so he could be on the come up for sure. So we are still, I believe, first place in the league at this moment, and the only question is if Eric beats Megalugia or Eric or Asianis. Coach of the Reno Reggies, we beat him week 1 due to hacks. If he beats Megalugia this week by a certain differential, he could potentially go into first place, but right now we are in first place. So that's pretty cool. Also depend, well, I think, yeah, if Alpha wins, the guy we lost to, if he wins, I don't think he can go first place because of the fact that his differential is just too far down in the hole. So maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to double check, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We are back to 3-1 on the winning side of things, which feels great. And yeah, I will see you next week. Stay tuned for more. See you later, guys.